going, everybody? Today I'm here to talk about the latest crime thriller from Drew Goddard, Bad Times at the El Royale. So Drew Goddard's been a person I've been a big fan of for a very long time. He's written many films I've enjoyed, such as Cloverfield, The Martian, World War Z, Cabin in the Woods, which he also directed. So I had some high expectations for this film just because of all the quality things he's brought us in the past. Plus, you got this great ensemble cast. I figured it has to be pretty good. So, let's just dive into writing my thoughts about the film. So this film follows 7 strangers with some skeletons in their closet. They meet this rundown hotel in Lake Tahoe called the El Royale. And over the course of one night, everyone gets kind of one last shot at redemption before shit hits the fan. Now, if I had to describe this crime thriller to somebody, I'd kind of say like Tarantino light, because it reminded me a lot of a Quentin Tarantino film in many ways, because, the way he structures his films, out of order, chapters, and, ensemble cast, they all remind me a lot of things that you see from a Quentin Tarantino film, such as like Reservoir Dogs, The Hateful Eight, Pulp Fiction. They all kind of have like that same kind of structure where you go in and out and you learn about different characters out of sequence, which isn't a knock on this film at all, because I thought it was really well done in this film. But it just reminded me a lot of Quentin Tarantino's films, which, I love Quentin Tarantino, and I think most people do. So, like I said, not a negative. It's just something I had to throw out there. Not many films can do this kind of structure well when it comes to bouncing around, telling each character's different backstories and all that, but the script is so well written that it keeps you interested regardless of who's on screen, which is saying something because this film has a really stacked cast between Chris Hemsworth, Jeff Bridges, John Hamm, Dakota Johnson, and many more, but, every character gets an ample amount of screen time. You get their backstories and, why they're there with their skeletons in their closet, which makes for a very interesting film, which is not something you see in most of these kind of films that come out these days. Touching again on the performances, all of them give really great performances. Jeff Bridges, Chris Hemsworth, John Hamm, Dakota Johnson, even the newcomers like Lewis Pullman and Kaylee Spaney. I remember her from Pacific Rim Uprising, but I feel like this is a much better film than Pacific Rim Uprising. But of all the newcomers, definitely Cynthia Erivo is probably the best of the newcomers. I've never seen her in anything before, and this is definitely a standout performance. Even when it comes to the great actors and actresses that are already in this film, she just gives a very compelling performance for a relatively new actress, because I looked at her IMDb page and she's only done a couple things, so I hope to see her more in the future, because I know she's going to be in Widows as well, but in this film alone, she just has one of the best arcs. She has some of the most interesting stuff going on, and I was really impressed with her, because I wasn't expecting much from her going into this film, and I'm very impressed to see where her career, goes after this. Another thing I really enjoyed about the film is just the whole retro feel, the retro vibes it gave off, because it is a very retro-themed movie. It's set in a time period that's, in the past, obviously. And I like the whole vibe it gave off, not only that, but the music accompanying it, fit well with the scenes. There are some scenes where it felt a little weird, like with the scene with Chris Hemsworth gyrating around to Deep Purple, I believe they said it was. There are people that are going to be fine with that scene. I know there's plenty of people that are going to be like, okay, it's Chris Hemsworth dancing around shirtless, who cares? In the context of that scene, it worked, but it was funny to me unintentionally. But I just had to throw that in there. If I had to think of any negatives, just sometimes the whole structure where it would bounce around here and there to different storylines, it did kind of hinder some parts of the film for me, because some parts it would get really, really good, then it would cut to a whole nother story, and I was like, oh, I really wish they had just finished with that story and then moved on, so I had to wait a little bit. So the pacing could be off a little bit in some of those aspects when it cuts to different scenes. Also, this isn't a really big deal to me, because it's probably just going to be, I've seen much longer films, but this is a very long movie, so some people might not be into that. It's a little bit under 2.5 hours long, I believe, so be sure to be buckled in for a long time, because, it's a good film to sit through. You're not going to be that bored for the most part, but make sure you have a couple hours free, because it's a pretty long one, especially for a crime thriller, because it gets good at parts, and then it kind of drags for a little bit, and then it gets really good in the third act, and then it kind of slows down a little bit. Overall, though, I really enjoyed Bad Times at the El Royale. Drew Goddard crafted a pretty good original crime thriller, and I definitely recommend it to anybody that likes that genre, or if you like Quentin Tarantino films, because this is just a kind of a less violent, less crude version of a Quentin Tarantino film, which, if that's something that interests you, I think you would like this film. But those are just my thoughts on Bad Times at the El Royale. Leave a comment in the comment section down below what you thought of the film when you see it, or if you plan on seeing it, or you didn't like it. Let me know your thoughts on the film regardless. Also, feel free to leave a like, hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all my movie reviews, trailer reactions, unboxings, and more. But until the next time, I'll see you guys later.